कभी चाहे तो हाथों से लेते लकीरें चुरा कभी चाहे तो हाथों से लेते लकीरें चुरा
Oh, 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 yeah. Wow. You know, yeah. All right, India. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm thinking, hey. So I have a question, okay. How many people, this is their first part of you're just starting the extravaganza. Who's that? You haven't been here the last 2 days. This is your first day. How many people? All right, how many people have been here the last 2 days? Okay, half and half, half and half. So, by the way, I want you all to know something. That song, India Wale, it's on my playlist. I love that song. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I want to start by congratulating India. India, the #1 market in Herbalife. Number one, yeah. And you know, this is actually, for me personally, it's my favorite audience because this is a leadership. Without your leadership, we wouldn't be #1, okay? We wouldn't be anywhere. By the way, #1 direct selling company in India, #1. So, truthfully, this sounds very very trite, but you know, I couldn't be more proud to be in the room today with all the TAB team members and the leadership of India, because you know, this is a very, very special group, the best leaders of Herbalife in the world, because you've proven that with your numbers. Okay, so one more time, congratulations to all of you. But that's kind of it for the congratulations. Because, you know, most of you, especially at the tables, you know me, okay? Everything I say is either from my heart or from my mind. And actually, more from my heart. And so today, for the next, well, the time I get to spend with you, I want to talk about where we could be. Because, and you know, we're going to talk about change, and for those of you who saw Stefan yesterday, you saw this incredible vision of the company, and I know you're very excited about that. And where's Surbjeet? Where's Surbjeet? I know you're here because you signed. Where are you? Right here. Okay. And so, yeah, let's give it up for Surbjeet. Okay. And so, you said we sat next to each other. All right. All right. Yeah. So we got to sit next to each other at dinner last night, or one seat away, and you said to me a couple of things that really touched me. Okay, you said, "Hey Rob, you know, number one, Rob, we love you." Okay, and I'm going to get to that, but thank you, because that's what better thing can you say to another human being than that? So thank you for that. Yeah, it's okay. And the other thing is, you said that you like when I talk about moments that matter. Okay, and so we're going to talk about that today, as always. Okay. Okay. Wow. Very spirited. It's actually more spirited today than it was yesterday, just so you know. But you know I like to talk because in life we all have these moments. We don't always know about the moments when they're happening, but we have moments that change our entire existence. They change everything about life, but we don't know them. We understand them retrospectively, okay? You guys are with me, right? You understand what I'm talking about. Like, it could be a good moment or it could be a bad moment. Bad moments are very important in life because they teach us. They help us grow as human beings. And good moments, obviously, are super important. So we're at a point in time in India right now where everything it's kind of pretty good. Okay, we're doing like 140 million a month, more than anybody's ever done in the history of the company. We're breaking all kinds of records. It's absolutely unbelievable. And yet I'm up here and I want to talk about change. Because, you know, when you think about it, and this is really, I need you guys to understand in your hearts and in your minds what I'm talking about. Change is easier when things are going well. This is a fact, okay? And there's some things we need to improve upon and things that we need to get better at. And the reality is, it's hard for me. I don't want you to feel bad about what I'm saying, because we're all here to get better, okay? We're all here to build a legacy. And, you know, I'll talk about a little bit about my story, but I want you to think while I'm talking for the next few minutes about legacy. Not about money. Money's important, but legacy. Because that's what I really want to impress upon you today. So let me ask you one question. And I know the answer to this. I'm going to ask myself the same question, and I'm going to raise my hand. How many of you in the audience, your life is better today than before you met Herbalife? Everybody, right? How many? Just keep your hands raised. I just want to say this. Okay, everybody. Your life today is better because you met somehow Herbalife. My life today is better because somehow I met Herbalife. And, you know, some of you have seen this before. It's kind of funny, but yeah. This picture This picture was taken, believe it, I can't even believe I'm saying this. This picture is 50 years old. 50 years old. I'm 67 here, 67, okay, and this picture was taken when I was 17, 50 years ago. And by the way, that's the president of Herbalife. Yeah. So, just a word about that picture and that kid. I was a year behind in school, like I was the youngest person in my class by 1 year, okay? And so I was always behind, okay? And the reason I'm telling you this story, not just to tell you my story, because we can all relate to this story, because we all have inherent things inside of us that drive us. Well, I was a year behind, okay? And I was more immature socially, mentally, physically, and so I was always like outworked everybody on everything. And it was funny because yesterday I was in the car with Stefan, and he's like, I told him, oh, I worked out this morning. This morning at 5 a.m. I was in the gym, okay? And he said, I have a bad hamstring. And he said, how did you do that? I said, well, I play baseball. I play American baseball, okay? And I play it every Sunday when I'm not traveling. And I said, Stefan, the thing is, this is my story. The thing is, Stefan, I'm so competitive. Like, I want to win. Can you relate to this? I just have to win. I'm 10 years older than anybody on my team. But because of that kid, because I was behind, even today, it just drives me. It makes me crazy if I don't win. That's me, okay? But along the way in life, you're pretty formed at 17, your ethics, your integrity, but along the way you meet people that influence you, like this guy. These guys. Yeah, give it up, Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes. And so, by the way, was Mark Hughes a competitive person? Was there something driving him in life? We're going to talk about that in a second, but my first interaction with Mark Hughes actually changed my whole life. It changed my whole life. It changed my whole herbal life, okay? It changed me as a person because I was a new employee at the company, and we were having a meeting in Hawaii, and he had somebody call me. I was in Los Angeles. He said, come to Hawaii tomorrow. I'm having a meeting, and I want you to be part of the meeting. And so I flew that night to Hawaii. I went to the meeting the next day. There's 10 people at a table, and I want to come down here because this is what changed your life. I'm going to go back up in a second. But Rocky, I'm going to use you as my Mark Hughes. Okay, so picture Rocky. Let me just see if they got me. Okay, so picture Rocky as Mark Hughes, and I'm sitting behind Mark Hughes like this. He cannot see me. We're in this meeting, like a table like this, 10 people, and this is me, and this is Mark Hughes. Congratulations, yes.
You should sit down to me.
What's that? No, okay. Do you want me to do that? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're having this meeting, and the meeting was supposed to last for 10 minutes. It was somebody pitching Mark on something, and the meeting was supposed to last 10 minutes, and 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. And Mark had to get to a qualification, and so the security, his people were like really, really upset with him. And they said, Mark, you got to leave. And every so often, Mark would turn to me and say, you okay? Everything okay? What do you think, Rob? Remember, I'm a supervisor. I'm not a president's team at the time. I'm a supervisor. And so, I'm going to go back up, but the point is this. He kept checking in on me like I'm a supervisor in the associate world. I'm not a president's team member. And yet Mark was checking on me. So finally the meeting ends, okay? And Mark leaves. They get him out, he leaves, he goes to the, goes to the thing, and about a second or like 10 seconds after he left, he comes back and he points at me and he said, come here. And it's funny because I was like, who are you talking about? He goes, no, Rob, come with me. So Mark Hughes and I go in the room. This happens every time, every time. So Mark Hughes goes in a room with me, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, Rob, what did you think? And by the way, he knew that I was not comfortable. He knew it, but I'm sitting behind Rocky. He doesn't see my face. He doesn't see my body language. He doesn't see anything, but he feels me. And he goes, I know you're uncomfortable. You weren't, what? Tell me. I go, Mark, it's not the time. You got to get to the qualification. And he looks at me and he said, listen, Rob, look at me because I trust you. And, the point is this. From that moment on, Mark Hughes and I, even though I wasn't very close with him, like, I am with Stefan or with Michael, but the point is this. Again, back to change. It's not about the highest level you can get with another human being is having a trusting relationship. Can we all agree with that? Trust. Okay, and so that's what you're doing in your communities. You're building trusting relationships, which will survive you. Here I am, that was 30 years ago. Very emotional for me personally, okay? But from that moment on, I trusted him. And we're gonna talk about why I'm still in Herbalife, but think about that. Because when we leave this earth, we don't take anything with us, but we leave something behind. Mark's been gone for 20 years, and I can feel him every single day. Okay? You with me so far? Yeah? Okay. Go ahead. It's okay. So, yeah, thank you. So, I have many stories like this. I don't have time today to tell them all, but the reality is this. Mark, the reason we're all in this room today is because of Mark Hughes. Number one, we wouldn't be here without his vision, without his fortitude, without his strength, without his charisma. But at the heart of it all, we're here because we believe in Herbalife. We believe that Herbalife is a vehicle in which we can impact people's lives. Here, this picture with Jim. This picture is a moment that matters. That was a moment that mattered with Mark. This was the last time Jim Rome spoke on stage. And we were doing very well at the time. It was at Honors many years ago. We were doing very well at the time. But here's what Jim's message is, and I want to give you the same message about India today. Yes, we're doing 140 million. Yes, but we're behind. We're behind in India. We cannot rest on who we are. Because I'm going to show you that I believe we can be much bigger. One of the things for the people in the room that haven't been here for the last 2 days, Ajay laid out a vision of 2 billion. Can I see the 2 billion from everybody? 2 billion, right? 2 billion. And we're going to get there. I know in my bones, the team knows in their bones, the leadership knows in their bones, we're going to get there. But that is a small piece in this country of who we can be. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a second. So the next thing I want to show you is Stefan. And listen, I want 2 things about Stefan. I want you to think about why is Stefan the CEO of this company? I want you all to think yourselves about why you're the CEO of your organization. Why you do what you do. I don't care if you're back there or up here. Why? And here's why Stefan. Because here's what Stefan gave up. Back to this point about change, okay? Is there more to gain, or is there, you want to hold on to what you have? Because that's human nature. Human nature is, I want to hold on. Stefan came here giving up, making crazy millions and millions and millions of dollars every year, built one of the most successful distributorships in the history of the company, okay? And by the way, freedom, vacations, boats, cars, all that stuff. And yet something inside of him was like, legacy. What am I going to leave behind? Okay? He gave up all of that to become your CEO, our CEO. Okay, yeah, you can give it up for Stefan. Yeah, for sure. Because he believes, and as we all do, if you're in this room today, you're on the TAB team, we all believe that this company is a vehicle, like I said before. It's a vehicle to improve the lives of millions and millions and millions and millions of people. And so, I'll tell you another fact about Stefan. When he came to the company, you know, you guys, how many people saw Stefan train as a distributor? Okay, so maybe a third of you. Stefan is a very cerebral guy. You know, you guys, he's very smart. He's crazy, crazy smart. And he does everything. He's very analytical. He looks at the numbers. He looks at the metrics. And he's not what I would have called like overly emotional. Okay, that's, if you were somebody was going to talk about me, they'd say, oh, Rob, he's a very emotional guy, right? You would all say that, I think, knowing me. You wouldn't say that about Stefan. Since he's been in the company, he's become like unbelievably emotional. And so I said to Stefan, why, what's going on with you? You know, he's crying at company meetings and stuff like that. And it's not funny because it's real, it's sincere. I go, Stefan, what happened to you? Like when did that switch flip in you? And he said, you know, when I see the employees of the company, and I want to give it up for, you know, for you guys in a second, but when I see, Stefan said, when I see the employees of the company, you don't have the same opportunity that the distributors have. You know, you don't have an unlimited potential to make money. You know, the lawyers are gonna, you know, not like me saying that, but we're in the right room for that. You don't have the potential of the marketing plan. And yet, the employees of the company, they're so dedicated, it's like, and it makes him very emotional, because he's like, why do you do it? He's had this conversation with me many, many times. So at any rate, Stefan has been a godsend to the company. You know, we have other people like Dr. Carmona, and now we have Mark Hughes. And like, why did Mark? Again, I want you to be thinking about yourselves every time I say something about this. Why did Mark do what he did in Herbalife for so long, for so many years? Like, why? He had a lot of cars, he had a lot of houses. Some of you went to his houses. Mansions, big houses, kids, wife. Why? Because he knew that Herbalife was the vehicle that he created that could change the world. He knew this. Okay, yeah, you can clap for that. You should clap for that because it's your company. And here's the other thing that Mark knew. And I don't see, I guess, I don't see Amit and Rena here. Are they here? They're not here, right? Amit and Rena are not here. Okay. I just called them out. But last night we had this dinner. Yeah, give it up. We had this dinner last night because the team, oh, by the way, can we give it up for our corporate team right here who's worked so hard on your behalf every single day, Ajay and the team, Panchali Uday. No, like really appreciate them. Really appreciate them, yes. So, thank you guys. So, we had this dinner and two thoughts like this is about why I'm here. 67, 32 years in the company. I recently accepted this new job, which I had declined 4 times before or 3 times before, okay? And yet Stefan, reached out to me and I said yes. When I was at this dinner last night, I had this overwhelming sensation. Two things waved over me. One was, of course, I came here for the first time in 1995 or 6. We were open in 1999, right? Okay, so in 1999 we opened India, but the first trip anybody from Herbalife took was my trip in 1995 or 6. I forgot the year. And I had many, I've been here 25 times. I've been here tons of times in India, as you guys know. It's been a joy and an honor of my lifetime. But when I'm looking at the 6th new Chairman's Club in India, okay, and you promised me, okay, that you're gonna be on the Chairman's Club in the next year, by the end of next year. You promised that to us, okay? But I couldn't help but think, wow. So it was 30 plus years ago that we were, there was nothing. There was no room like this. There was no 60,000 tickets sold to an extravaganza. There was nothing. And so I felt, like some sense of pride, and it's why I stay here. Because of the beautiful things that people say to me when I travel, like, the appreciation. And again, think about the people that you're impacting every single day. Think about that. And the second thought I had was, you're not building businesses here in Herbalife. You think you're building a business, which you are, you're making money, but you're creating something that will outlive all of you. A legacy. You're building a legacy. You're helping people with their products. You're helping people earn some money. And so when I look at a picture like this, this was Mark Hughes' vision. His ultimate vision, changing people's lives. Okay, that was the original, changing people's lives. My question to you is, are there more people in India that need their lives improved? Are there? Are there? Come on. Yeah. Can you help more people in India? Are there people that are overweight in India? Are there people that need extra income in India? Okay. This is why Mark stays. This is why you're here. This is why you're not stopping when you become a Chairman's Club member. We can never forget that. Because I want to talk now about change. Oh no, this brings me back. Jay showed this picture the other day. Man, I really look young there. And you got Alan Lorenz and Eddie and Brian Kane and Carol and our former GM, Frank Morris. But this really brings me back. Mark Hughes was so excited about India. You don't know that because he never came here. He was never able to make it here, which is, I feel so bad. And here you are. He's looking down upon you today at this crowd, and the crowd yesterday, and the crowd in Bangalore, and the crowd tomorrow, and thinking, man, everything I've dreamed of is coming true. Everything. So let's give it up one more time for Mark. Yeah. So let's talk about change. Again, for me, this is the most important thing of anything that I can communicate to you. Change is coming. Any company that doesn't change will die. Evolution, and you think about the companies. We were talking about this the other day. How many people know, I always use this example, but how many people know Kodak? You've heard of Kodak, right? Not very much anymore, okay? Or what's the phone, the cell phone, Nokia. How many people know Nokia, right? These are companies that didn't evolve, and we're evolving. Everything we're evolving to is rooted in our past. You have to understand that. And when the people that weren't here yesterday to see Stefan, I think you feel very secure if you were here yesterday, because, you know, when we talk about what to measure, what to take, what to do, who to do it with, okay, which is what you'll hear tomorrow from Stefan, all of those things are rooted in our past. We don't move forward without our past, but we evolve into the future, you know, with things like technology and new products. We have to. You all understand that. The question is, how do you figure out how to integrate that into the way you do business on a daily basis? That's going to be the future. That's going to be the trick. You know, some of you heard this story. When we were opening India, speaking of change, the first thing that happened is we worked for years. Remember, I came here 4 years before we actually opened, and we had a lot of trouble in those days because the technology wasn't great. The manufacturing capability in India wasn't great in the 90s, okay? And we finally found a manufacturer that could, you know, do everything. We were so excited. We're a few days before the opening. We're sitting at dinner with the owner of this manufacturing company, and we're toasting, and we're getting, you know, having too much wine. And somewhere along the way, he says to us, by the way, I filed for bankruptcy today. This was a week before we're going to open. We had enough product in India to last us a little while, but this was right before we were going to open, and we're like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? There's an element of change, right? Like we don't have products, but we're opening in India, which was a dream of Mark Hughes. We figured it out. How many guys were nervous when the GST changed? GST, right? Were you guys nervous? You were nervous. Come on. We had to lower, you know, we had to do some things with the marketing plan. You weren't very happy about it. I wasn't very happy about it. We had some conversations with the president's team, okay? It wasn't very nice. This was just, in November, October of last year. And, you know, we were a little nervous, but here's the thing about change. That's a change, right? That's like a serious change. Instantly, like in 2 weeks, it's a change. But guess what? You guys were ready for it. You were ready for it. You were ready for the change. And when you're ready for change, anything is possible. We're bigger now since October, when the GST change happened, than we've ever been before, because you were ready. You get this? So you guys with me? Just give me some feedback. You with me? Okay, great. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because this is important, because we're going to change, we're going to evolve. And it's funny, human nature, again, general human nature is to hold on to everything you got. Actually, I'm going to tell you a personal story. When Michael Johnson came to the company, he put me in charge of the Americas. The staff all knows this story. The Americas, North America, South America. I won't make any political comments about what's happening in the United States now. I'll reserve that, but you know what I'm talking about. Canada, okay. And so, imagine this. Mexico at that time did about 7 million volume points a month. They do about 70 million volume points a month right now. They were 1/10 the size. Look at India, by the way. The first 10 years we were doing 1 million volume points a month after the initial opening. Now we're doing 140. So you do the math on that one, okay? Change. By the way, the reason we're doing 140 million a month now is because you changed. You changed. You didn't keep doing the same thing. For things to change, we have to change. For things to get better, we have to get better. So I was in charge of the Americas. I'm like, everything's going from a corporate standpoint. But just imagine you're a chairman's club in India and everything's going right now. And you're feeling, it's just the two of you today, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to pick on you guys. But you're feeling a little confident, okay? And for the people who weren't in the room yesterday, both Ajay and Stefan showed the waves in our history. It's never like this. That doesn't happen. It's like this. Because when things are like this, you don't want to change, but when things go like this, you have to change. And when my main message is, let's do some changing now while we're on top, because then we avoid any of this. And you remember, how many people were at the Future Prez Team retreat in Dubai? Okay, and how many people were at the Diamond Development just before that in Mumbai? Okay, so at the Diamond Development, remember, we were having conversations about why we were flattening out in India, right? I mean, we were having these crazy, because the last 2 years, other than the end of last year and right now, where we're killing it, we were like flattening out. We were growing a little bit. And you guys know this because your checks, it all evolves into your checks. And so we had that Diamond Development Mastermind with Stefan, with Eric, with the S&P, we actually changed the mindset at that meeting. And if it wasn't for that meeting, I believe we wouldn't have been ready for what happened with the GST. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. But think about it. The mindset changed, and you were ready when the GST hit. Okay? And so when you see the vision for the future, I'm going to talk a little bit for the next few minutes, but the reality is, and Stefan's going to talk about it a lot tomorrow, but we have to prepare ourselves today for tomorrow. Okay, you guys with me? You with me? Okay, good. So human nature, again, is like, as humans, we tend to hold on. We tend to hold on a little bit. It's just the way humans are. Like, you don't want to lose something. But think about this, and I'm going to lay it out at the end, but think about what we have to gain. Every single person in this room. And you know, it's interesting because Amit and Rena and the whole team last night in that photo, I got news for you. I got news for you guys, and for you guys, okay, and for you guys. They're going to have 15 diamonds. They mapped it out for me. They're going to have 15 diamonds. It's done. And they're serious. They're serious. So if you think, you want to rest on your laurels, forget about it. These guys, they're ready. They're ready to roll. And let me tell you something. I've been around a long time, obviously. I've seen a lot of distributors. I've seen a lot of distributor plans. I have confidence in you. I have confidence in you and that whole organization. They're coming. They reached Chairman's Club, but I guarantee you one thing. They are not satisfied with being chairmans. They want to be the first distributorship in the company's history to reach 15 diamonds. 15 diamonds. Yeah, give it up for them. Okay. I love this quote. Behind us lies a rich history of collective accomplishment. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. But, it's okay. Mark Hughes. Behind us lies what we've achieved. In front of us lies promise. Promise. Promise of the future. The question is, how do we fulfill that promise? How do you fulfill that promise? How do you help more people? Because every volume point that is sold in the marketplace in India is helping somebody with their health, with their finances, every single point. I love this quote. And these people, our Founders Circle and some others, like, why are they still here? I mean, they're speaking at your events, a lot of these people, annually, every year, because you ask for them. Why do you ask for them? Because they inspire you, because they motivate you. But why are they doing it? Why? Do they need more money? Not at all. Not at all. They have all the money they need. Do they need more things? No. Can they help more people? Can we help more people? Like you mean it. Can we help more people? Can we leave behind more people that we've helped? This is our vehicle. Collectively, it's our vehicle. And when you think about it that way, there's nothing that's going to ever stop us. Never. And you know, we have the eras in Herbalife. We had the mail order era in the beginning. Again, change. We didn't, mail order is dead. I don't even know if there's still mail anymore. It's like, right? That's going to be a thing of the past. Mail. Not today, but for sure. Nutrition clubs in the 2000s. Where would we be without nutrition club? Everybody in here, you have nutrition clubs in your organization, right? Right? And yet, I was at a meeting 22 years ago where they wanted to kill the nutrition club model in Mexico. Think about it. You know why they wanted to kill it? Somebody tell me why they wanted to kill it. Why did they want to kill nutrition clubs? They wanted to kill nutrition clubs because it represented a complete change in how people did business. Think about it. Where would we be without nutrition clubs? It was a complete departure from everything that, up until that point in 2000. BBC, now there's BBC, there's all kinds of models because you're brilliant. You're all brilliant in figuring things out. But there's going to be a next, and there's going to be a next. And now Stefan with his vision, personalized nutrition, which we'll talk about in a second, we're going to give you the opportunity to figure some stuff out in the way you operationalize the business that's going to change everything. But it's going to be rooted in the past, everything you know. Products change. Products change. We still don't have those products on the upper left. They look like we couldn't have had those products. Then we went to the thermo guy, right? Some of you remember this. It's like, and then obviously Herbalife 24. By the way, let's talk about Herbalife 24. Product change. Before Herbalife 24, did healthy active lifestyle really exist in Herbalife? Take 2 shakes a day, tablets 3 times a day, don't ever exercise again, and you'll lose weight like crazy. Right? That was the story. Some of you here who are relatively new, how many people have been here less than 10 years? Less than 10 years. Raise your hand. Okay, a fair amount of people. There was no healthy active lifestyle before Herbalife 24. That was a vision of Michael Johnson. Change. Change. Next thing. Here's what I want to reassure you all. Every time we've set our mind on something in this company, we have succeeded like no other company in the history of companies. Mark had his vision, and guess what? We're the #1 protein shake on the face of the earth. You can give it up for that, for sure. Michael had his vision. I was just talking about it. Healthy, active lifestyle. Guess what? We're the #1 healthy, active lifestyle on the face of the earth. You can give it up for that too. That's your company. Okay. And now, Stefan. To be the premier health and wellness company, community, and platform. Are we the premier health and wellness company and community today? Are we? Are we in India, the #1 health and wellness company? For sure. We're the #1 direct selling company, and we're definitely the #1 company in India for healthy, active lifestyle and wellness. For sure. #1. The thing is, we're small. When you look at India, we're small. Yes, 2 billion is on the horizon, but that's not even, I'm telling you right now, forget about holding on. Lose the holding on today. Think about what we could become. Even Mark Hughes, I remember he said, think about what we can become. We're not, this room, someday, I'm going to say it, this room someday, you guys over here, would you like to be on the president's team? Yeah. Would you guys like to be on the president's team over there? And back there, what if this was a president's team meeting? What if? Shamal, what if this was a president's team meeting? Yeah, wow. But is it possible? For sure. Is it possible? Is it possible? Okay. So Stefan has added platform. We don't know, but based on our great and glorious history, what do you think is going to happen? And so this room has got to be the president's team meeting for that to happen. It's got to be. Don't hold on, president's team, because how many of the president's team want to sit at these fancy red tables up here? Yeah? How many? Not all of you? Not every single one of you? Of course you want to be there. By the way, not just because of the gifts that it gives you, but because of the legacy it helps you create. Remember, we don't take it with us, but what we leave behind is everything. And what you can leave behind as individual business entrepreneurs is everything. And I'm trying to appeal to you on that, in that regard. Because that's why Mark Hughes stayed so long. That's why Stefan chose to become the CEO. That's why I'm, at my advanced age, still going and blowing on this stage. Because I believe that what we're gonna become. You can give it up for that. We have to believe what we can become. Okay. And we use this word superpower. We have a lot of strategies in the company, and a lot of places that we play, health and wellness, energy, progress. But at the end of it all, and don't ever make a mistake about this, Herbalife's superpower is you, and you, and you, and you. Herbalife's superpower is sitting right here in this room. And we have companies coming, to look at us, to want to be part of us, even these companies that are getting into personalized nutrition. And the reason is because of you. The communities that you build all throughout India, the people that you touch, the people that you help with both their health and their financial freedom or income. I'm not supposed to say that, but the people that you help, those are the people that make you able to give a legacy. You're doing it all over India. So we have some strategies for growth. I like everything very simple. You can take a picture of this if you'd like. Innovation and transformation. Technology, products, and you. The ultimate superpower of Herbalife. Yeah, yes indeed, yes indeed. It's our secret sauce. Mark Hughes knew it when he formed this company. Having a group of a community building system all over the world was the fastest way to integrate into markets. And I met some people yesterday, we call them high flyers, and they're getting into the rural parts of India, which there's a lot of rural parts of India. And think about this. When you're out of the city, and I know a lot of you are doing this right now, when you're out of the city, the big cities, it's very easy to talk to somebody about an income opportunity because they have modest expectations, okay? And we have a lot of rural communities throughout India. So we have these 6 bold moves. Number one is, again, to be the world's premier health and wellness company, community, and platform. But here's our 6 moves that we've identified to get from point A, which is where we're at today, to point B, where we believe we're going. And let me tell you something. We're going, as I always like to say, we're going to the moon. This company is going to the moon, okay? And it's going to go with you, our superpower, and with our products, and with all the new stuff and the vision, okay? But here's the thing. This is going to sound very cruel, but, at least one person in the room said they love me, so I'm going to say it, because you know me, I say everything on my mind. we're going to go to the moon with you or without you. It's a volunteer situation. You're all volunteers. You're all building your own thing. But with the vision that we have, we're going. We're going. The confidence level, my confidence level is higher than it's ever been in the history of my 32 years and Stefan's 34 or 5 years. With or without you. Either you see it or you don't. In terms of culture, our culture is rooted, and I can go on, by the way, on this one I can go on for hours, but here's the short story. Our company is based on a couple of principles, and without them, we don't have a company. Ethics and integrity. Number 1, number 2, number 10, number 20. If you don't have ethics and integrity, you don't belong in Herbalife, period, end of statement, okay? We only deal with people, because remember, trusting relationships, that's where we started today. Building trusting relationships. You cannot have a trusting relationship if you don't have ethics and integrity. Humility, these are all traits from Mark Hughes. Attitude and a sense of humor, having a great attitude. Setting the right expectations. Creating trusting relationships. That's what you do every single day. Put others' interests first. Embrace change. Embrace adversity. And of course, be grateful. Be grateful for everything in your life, everything. Technology, our platform. You know, and I want to clear up any confusion. Protocol is the vehicle in which to deliver the platform. Okay, and how many people are interested in seeing if protocol comes to India? You guys want protocol? No, if you want it like that, you don't really want it. Do you want protocol? Okay, just checking. I'm just checking. I work on positive reinforcement. I'm just checking. Because I have to, you know, if I really want to go to Ajay and say, like, let's make this thing happen, we got to know that you want it. Do you guys want it? Okay. You heard it, Ajay. You heard it. Okay. But the protocol is not the platform. We've always been a platform in Herbalife. Protocol is the delivery mechanism for all the elements of the platform that you see on the screen. Next, we're going to open new markets, but more important than new markets, we're going to, everything we think about in terms of strategy, and that includes in India, is in an effort to help make your businesses grow. More income opportunity, more streams of income, things like, I'll give you one example, subscriptions. What if at the beginning of every month, your customers were on a subscription and your volume was done? I mean, how would you like that, right? There's a lot of ways. Oh man, Amit, you missed a lot of love today, you know? I'm sorry, you missed a lot of love, I'm sorry, but you deserve it, you deserve it. So we're thinking about new and different ways to add to your income stream and your business. That's how we think about all the strategies going forward. The next one is technology, and I want to introduce you to this guy, okay? So dear Mia, so dear, where are you? Where's So dear? He should be in the room. Okay. We met yesterday with a couple of distributors who are on the rise. And you know, AI is a very important part of our future. And how many people were at Honors? Honors. Okay, so some of you saw the presentation and it opened your mind quite a bit, but let me open your mind. This is not a corporate, AI is not just a corporate thing. And it's not just like, a lot of you use AI like it's Google. Like you do searches on AI. But what we learned at Honors is that AI can be one of the best business strategy partners you can possibly have. And I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday we met with this guy. I hope he's in the room somewhere, and he told us, and I hope he doesn't get offended by this, he's got a very clear plan, by the way. This guy has a clear plan to reach President's team and beyond. He told me the date. He told me, you know, he showed me his organization, his active world team, his get team. He showed me the whole thing, and I'm very confident that this guy is going to do what he says. Here's one issue he has. He actually invites people to like a physical wellness kind of thing, and he invites 100 people, he said. 100 people every month, okay? And I said, okay, how many people attend? He goes, about 10. 10 out of 100 attend. I said, okay, how many turn into distributors? He said, 1. So his metric is 1 out of 100. I don't know if that's good or bad in India, I don't know. But what we decided is, how can AI in your individual businesses help you develop strategies for example, improving your conversion rate. So the company's going to work with this guy and run the CRIT. Most of you don't know what that means, but create a partnership, a strategic partnership with AI. If he can improve 100%, he goes to 2%. What if he can go to 10%? Everything will be expedited. And by the way, AI, the more you use it, the more it helps learn what you're doing, the more it gets to know you. Okay, Stefan's ChatGPT is one of his best friends in the world. I'm telling you, it knows him like nobody knows him. But can you imagine, I want you all to imagine what AI in your individual businesses could potentially do to help you develop certain strategies for improvement. And it can, and over the next 6-8 months, you're going to learn about that, okay? Whether you learn on your own, or you learn, the company helps and we're going to help. Think about this, change. Who's intimidated by using more technology? Who's intimidated? It's okay to raise your hand, I am. I'm raising my hand. I am, okay, there we go. It's intimidating. But if you don't do it, you're not going to change and you're not going to have the benefit of it. The next one is products. Here's the main thing about products. You have always been in the business of curating products. Meaning, if somebody comes to you and they say, you know, I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough energy. What do? You put them on the Fresh, you put them on the protein shake, you give them some products to help them with their energy. I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight. You have always, and you're experts in curating personalized programs for your customers. The new generation, and everybody's going there, it's crazy, every day a new article, is personally formulated for you, and for me, and for you. And you know, we just made the announcement, you'll hear about it tomorrow for those of you who didn't hear Stefan, about purchasing a company that's in that business. We already purchased Link Biosciences. Stefan will talk to you about that. But it's coming to India, okay? So we have to understand and think about it. The personal formulation is on your micros, your vitamins, your minerals, all of that. The personally curated, do people need protein? Does everybody need protein every day on their diet? Yeah, of course. We all need protein. It's one of the most important things you can do for your body. By the way, with all the GLP stuff happening in the world, especially here in India, protein and protein shakes and supplementation becomes more and more important. You're going to become more and more important in the marketplace, okay? Especially when they find out that stuff's not so good for you, okay? Which is coming. And then, okay, here's the story here. And then I'm gonna wrap up. We're going to do things to help you in the marketplace, to soften the marketplace. We're going to create tools that you can use, that you can go to your customers. We're going to create all types of ability for you to go to the marketplace in a much better and easier way to do that. But here's the deal on that. No matter what the company does, if you screw up our brand, which you can, it screws up the whole marketplace. You know, I went to buy a car many, many years ago. Very shallow, okay, now I'm older and wiser, I don't need a fancy car, but back when I was in my 40s, I needed a fancy car. So I went and I was so excited. I was so excited because I went to this independent dealership. It was a fancy car brand that you all know. I went in there and they treated me like garbage. Like garbage. Like in a nutrition club, there's no bad days in a nutrition club. They're all good days and they have to be good days. Because I can tell you, I never purchased that car brand again. Never. Because I was so upset how bad they treated me. Never. You guys with me? Protect the Herbalife brand as the company does. You with me? Here's the last thing. Here's the last thing. Let me click through really quick. I'm going to skip India because I don't have time. Here's one thing. You have the greatest leadership in the world in this company. We got to spend a lot of time together, and believe me, these guys are amazing. Congratulations to all our Chairman's Club. Thank you for all you do every day. Yeah, you can give it up for them. Okay, here's your last night was great. But let me just leave you with a vision. Let me leave you. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, I know. Respect to Mark. But let me leave you with a vision. We have a vision that Ajay laid out for $2 billion. $2 billion. That was to the entire crowd. But this is the TAB team. So let me give you a little bigger vision. Because I believe with all my heart and with all my mind that $2 billion is way too small. And I'll tell you why. Today, in 2024 last year, or 2 years ago, we were at 0.9 volume points per cap. We did 100 million a month, and we did 1.25 billion, which is amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, okay. At the current run rate, we're up to 1.1 per capita, which is that's very tiny. I mean, just think about it. If we were at 2.1, 100% improvement, but just going from 1 to 2, okay, right now we're at 125, and we do about 1.5 billion. By the way, we're higher than that. We're higher than that. Our run rate is higher than that. But think about it. Can we go from 1 to 2? If we were at 2, we'd be at 3 billion. I mean, think about that. We'd be at 3 billion. But here's what I'm looking at. Mexico, they're at 6. And at 6, that would be 750 million a month, 9 billion. 9 billion. And so I ask you this. Can you see it? 10? Fine. Can you see it? Can you see going from 1 to 2 or from 1 to 3? Volume points per capita. No. Energy. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, then the last thing is, let's go Herbalife!
Wow, amazing! Thank you so much, sir. Can I have a minute of yours?
Yes, of course.
When you just came on the stage, you tell there's nothing important when a person tells to other that I love you, right?
Yeah.
And there are reason the Sarabjit Singh told you he loves you. I also love you, but there's a reason I want to tell you. May I?
You, of course. In front of everybody. Yeah.
In front of all, right? So he is the person, President Herbalife, operating more than 90 countries and so down to earth. I want to share my experience when I was in PT Experience in LA, and I had a session with our Chairman's Club, Trey and Miami. So we were giving some suggestions over there, right? You were asking for the suggestions for the betterment of Herbalife. And due to short of time, I was not able to communicate with you. And on the same day, we were at the dinner, and you came to me and asked, you were saying something, young boy, and you listened to me for 15 minutes. He's the person. That's why we love him. We all love you, Rob. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So where's the energy? Thank you. Thank you, sir.